The Enneagram Personality Test is a multi-stage self-awareness test that progressively gets more revealing as it continues. The multi-question test will begin in 30 seconds. Link in the bio to start.
Alright, so we just both pulled up the link to the Enneagram test. There's a lot more ones that are in-depth, but we're going to take this slightly shorter one and see what it compares with previous results.
Yeah, and this test is free. It will give you your results for free. You don't even have to sign up. It says it'll take about 10 minutes, but I think it might take a little bit longer, but...
Not sponsored.
Yeah, not sponsored. So we're just gonna get into it. And if we come across an interesting question along the way, we'll discuss it and kind of compare, and that way you guys can learn a bit more about our personalities and our relationship dynamic. So, yeah.
Ready, go!
It is important to me that other people like me. This is tough for me because I think deep down I do want people to like me, but I like to put off a front of like, I'm not here to make the perfect impression. If you don't like me, that's fine. And I think that might be personal growth. Like, I'm getting better at not having to have people like me over time, but deep down I'm like, okay, but I still want them to like me. So I'm gonna put 4 for that.
I'm definitely 3 or 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want like 2 people to like me, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I'm one of them, so I'm halfway there.
Yeah.
I feel my emotions very deeply. 2.
I'm somewhere in the middle on that one because I mostly avoid them, which is bad.
I have a sense that other people will never truly understand me. 5. I think for me that's just because I'm so closed off. I don't share a lot of personal, aside from YouTube. In real life, I don't really share a lot about myself. I think deeply about things.
That is an instantaneous 5.
That's like a 2 for me. I seek out experiences that I know will make me feel happy or excited.
I feel like if you don't answer that question high, like
it's gonna think you're
I don't seek out happiness.
See, I do things that make me happy, but I don't seek out experiences. So that's a tough question. I'm gonna put a 3. I let other people make the decisions. I would say 4. I'm very easygoing and flexible, and if someone has a different plan that they think is gonna be better, that's fine. We can go with it, and I'm not gonna fight you too hard on that.
Yeah, it's generally similar, which is why we actually work out well together with making decisions.
Mm-hmm.
If either of us have strong enough of an opinion to do something, the other person is like, sure.
Yep. What's the next question, Nicholas?
2.
I always finish my chores. I'm gonna put a 3, I would say, but that's a lot of it is because of my physical limitations, so I don't always have the energy to finish something. I'm just gonna use that as my excuse because I can, so.
I always finish my chores. I think I'm going to put that as a 3 as well. It is important to me to be successful.
2.
4.
I feel like a lot of questions like this, I've changed mentally a lot in the past several years, like with my health and just imagining what the future will look like. Different things are important to me now than they were like 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so being successful in the sense of like a career or like a really good student, it's not on my ranks of importance in my life right now.
The organizations I belong to would not function well without me. I would say that's true. I mean, the role I play in my company is pretty integral at the moment, just with the type of programs I know how to use, and I'm younger, so I'm dealing with a lot of the technology stuff.
Yeah, I would say 2 for me.
I always have a plan for what I would do if things go wrong.
5. One thing that I heard a lot growing up was make a plan to deviate from, and that's what I do a lot in my life. I imagine like the way that I would want things to go, but in my mind I'm prepared that if it doesn't go a different way, the world isn't going to end.
I do not hesitate to call people out when they are behaving badly.
1. I cannot call people out.
I would say 2. It takes a lot for me to build up to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It has to really get my goat.
And I think that's one area where we would struggle in our relationship if we both weren't so easygoing. But because we are, there aren't really a lot of conflicts that come up.
I seek out relationships that offer me some type of protection. I'd probably say a 2 on that one.
I would say 4.
Because of my innate stability around people, I'm generally the person that someone else is coming to for stability rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, of course, I still need that, but it doesn't take much for me to have that.
I can clearly visualize what could happen in the future. 5. I think we think about the future a little bit too much, but that's okay. It's fine.
Yeah. Average people often find me a bit weird.
5.
5.
I mean, we called our channel Quirk House, so what can we say? If I'm honest, I feel that I am a bit better than other people. If I'm being honest, like it says, I would say 4.
Not gonna comment. I already
Show me,
scrolled up.
Show me.
It's too late.
Show me.
Too bad.
That means put a 5.
No, I put a 4.
Okay.
Feel a deep sense of grief for what I have lost.
Not anymore for me, so I'd say a 1.
I'd say a 3. I'm an unusual sort of person. Correct. I take time to understand things more deeply than most people do. 5.
5 for him. I would say 2 for me.
What was the last thing I taught you about?
Oh, jeez.
that you was more information than you needed.
It's typically something new every night. Most days, like, he'll kind of like stumble into something new and kind of dive into it and learn about it. And so when he comes home from work, he'll just kind of like spill all his thoughts for the day, which usually includes learning something new. And
I think the last random thing before investing was I learned the process of rotoscoping a background out of a GIF or a video.
Oh yeah.
So that you can have just a person like dancing or moving or something with no background. So you can put your own on or something.
I think that was like 3 days ago. So it's pretty often that he'll learn just something new like that. I would rather follow the group than push for what I want. 5. 5 only because it has the word push. I'm very rarely ever going to push for what I want. I will make suggestions, but in the end, if someone else is being more aggressive in the group than I am, I'm going to let them do their thing.
Yeah, I'm right in the middle on that one. Just because of, I guess, how I deal with things. Like, if I really wanted something, I would just leave the group.
I take the initiative to help other people and make their lives easier. 5. To a fault for me.
Yeah, I put a 4. I set ambitious goals for myself.
1.
I'd say 5. So I keep a book of inventions and things that I want to do, whether or not they're even in the realm of possibility. The biggest requiring me to be a multimillionaire. And the smallest being some kind of t-shirt, probably. I'm always up for a new adventure. 3.
I'd say 2 in the terms of going out and doing things, but a new adventure like that we might embark on together, I would always be up for something like that. But on like the day-to-day basis, no.
I stand up for what I believe in, even if it upsets other people. I'd like to say I was higher on that one, but I'm probably a 3.
Yeah, 3 for me too. I feel I never truly belong in social groups. I feel like they keep asking this question and they're making me like really investigate myself and feel bad about myself. 4.
Yeah.
Other people have stronger opinions than I do. 5, that's accurate.
1. What's funny is you're stubborn, so I'm not sure I believe that one on you. I'm not sure there's many people that have stronger opinions than
With particular people, I have pretty strong opinions. But with people I'm not familiar with, I don't have strong opinions. So I guess I'll put a 4. But it's still. Everyone has a role to play in society and a duty to do their best.
Communism. We can't reveal if we're communists or not.
But no. Are we communists? I'm concerned with protecting what I have.
Yeah, I definitely have a large locker of Pokemon cards back in New York because I didn't want them to get damaged moving them. And I'm also concerned about the humidity because we're in a basement right now.
That's true. They would get damaged if we ever moved them, honey. I think they need to stay there forever.
I'm an average person with ordinary likes and dislikes.
You're a 1. I would say a 4 for me. I'm pretty basic.
I try new ways of doing things just to see if they will work.
2.
5. Alright guys, that's it. Ready to get your results.
Here we go. I'm nervous. Are you?
Ayo! I got the number of the day.
Did you really?
Uh-huh.
Interesting. So usually in every other test that I take, I'm a 2. And with every description I've seen, or like any memes or something like that, I really identify as a 2. But this tells me I'm a 9. But I've also always had a struggle with distinguishing 2s and 9s. And so I think this is an accurate description of me.
Yeah, I encourage you guys to read. There's an official website. We'll leave it down in the description.
Yeah.
You can read a lot more, and you can also see ones that mistype you as something else.
Mm-hmm.
If you read through them and see which ones you're like, I'm not this isn't my core motivation, then you can usually narrow it down. What mine is a 5. 5, in a nutshell, believe their resources are scarce and that they don't have enough of what they need. Unlike other types who go out into the world to get more of what they need, 5s take the opposite approach and instead decide to minimize their needs as much as possible. To achieve this, they withdraw from the world, retreating into their minds, conserve their time, energy, and other resources. And 5s also with this, 5s tend to have a lot of interests, and so you conserve your resources and you're branching out in your mind to focus on all learning these new things and minimizing the things you're bad at.
Mm-hmm. So for 9s are defined by a desire to live in peaceful harmony with their environment. They want a sense of balance and calm and aspire to a kind of homeostasis where nothing disturbs their inner peace. They're very easygoing, accepting of what is happening around them. That's very true for me. 9s are accommodating and agreeable, and they readily adjust to the people around them. So there is one thing I wanted to read. If you go on the Enneagram Institute, I think it is, you can also see how the different types work together in a relationship. For this test, I'm going to try to find the 9 and the 5 and to see what that's like. I feel like we really did identify with the description of 2s and 5s like in a relationship, but it'll be interesting to see with my new number. So a 9 and a 5 relationship. An Enneagram 5-9 pair gives each other a great deal of personal and emotional space for activities and doing things on their own. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can still spend time together, but we each do our interests that we want to do.
Like you went to another state to see family, and
That too.
we talked a little.
Mm-hmm.
You were gone for a good amount of time, but I just kind of was letting you do your thing, and in my mind it's more relaxing because kind of like you don't have to report to the other person like I'm doing this now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit overbearing.
This pair is characterized by a sense of quiet, non-intrusiveness, spaciousness, and respect for each other's boundaries, work, and individuality. 9s are undemanding and uncritical, and they're the more emotional of the two types, but even so, 9s do not always know when they are feeling, what they are feeling, or how to express themselves adequately. I'd say that's very true.
Mm-hmm. It takes a lot for me to pry emotions out of you.
I think we were just talking about this the other night.
Yeah.
Not necessarily emotions, but just a description of what is going on with me, like more so physically. If I'm not feeling well, I'll say I'm okay or I don't feel good, but that's not very descriptive and it doesn't give him a lot of information. So it takes a little bit of work.
Are you tired? Are you mentally exhausted?
Moody. So 9s appreciate the 5's ability to be curious about them and to draw them out of the kind of inner fuzziness that 9s can get into. I feel like we're talking about this word for word before I read it. 5s appreciate 9's warmth and when there is a real personal or sexual connection between them. 9s often make 5s relax deeply and completely, something 5s very much need. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'd say so.
And then lastly, both types have an intellectual component, and if they're more or less on an intellectual par with each other, they can be a powerful and stimulating couple.
Yeah, so you can look up here, there's also different healthiness levels. You can see which help you look towards growth, like what's the next healthiest version of myself. And even if you don't feel like you fit perfectly into a type, it's great to look at what are the healthiest versions of all these personality types, and what can I do to look towards that.
And I think ideally, like, the perfect healthy person should be like a nice even mix of all of the types. On this test that we just did and we have in the link below, it'll give you like a pie chart of all of the numbers. So I think that's a really cool visual of how close are you in all the areas and where can you improve on and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so let us know what you got on your tests, and if you like this video or want things similar, be sure to subscribe and comment and bell.
Yeah, I mean, we love taking these types of personality tests and we love sharing them with you, so I hope this helped you learn a little bit about us. And yeah.
And maybe about yourself.
Yeah. If you guys have any tests that you love, let us know, because we're always looking for something new to try and just to learn more about each other. Like, these tests, they shouldn't like define who you are, but it is definitely like a helpful tool to like just really reflect inward about yourself and also like learn more about others. So yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.